poverty for good.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 34, then Thursday, cloudy with a high of 53. The Children's Theater Company's presentation of The Enormous Crocodile is getting ready to slither on out, so don't miss your chance to see the U.S. debut of Roald Dahl's Mischievous Tale. This wild musical adventure only runs through November 23rd, and tickets are going fast. Get them today at childrenstheater.org.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope you've had a very good week so far. We just got done with Ghost Stories and Beyond for the month of November. Boy, what a fantastic turnout. We're going to talk a little bit later in the show about what happened. Tonight we're supposed to have on Pat Bussard O'Keefe. She is Appalachian Witch. She wrote a book that is called Appalachian Granny Witch Magick, Magick and Musings of an Appalachian Mountain Witch. And I don't see her, and I hadn't heard from her all day. I don't know if we just had our wires crossed or what, or if I forgot to give her something. You know, things happen. And so if you are tuning in tonight to hear us talk, it doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight. We'll just re-examine it and figure out a time to get her back on. I don't know what's going on, and it could be a number of things. And I sent her a note this morning to connect, and I noticed that she hadn't read the message all day. So, obviously hoping that everything is well for her, and we'll get her back on when we figure out things and whatnot. The book is actually up on my GhostBox Radio, GhostBox Book Club, and there you can go ahead and take advantage of ordering your book through there. And when you do so, basically it helps us by using the Amazon affiliated link. And what that does is it directly helps GhostBox Radio. We've had a couple books on over the past couple weeks, and folks have been taking advantage of it. So I really appreciate it. Once again, that's ghostboxradio.com/GhostBox Book Club. The thing about that and why I'm so interested in this is there is so much mystery, and I just want to quickly read what the book is about. Okay. Now here's the thing. I grew up always calling it Appalachian, but it's Appalachian, isn't it? I don't know. And that was going to be, yeah, I don't mind looking foolish in front of you all, because if I don't know, I don't know. I'm really not going to try to just to try to come up with something and try to brush my way through it. I don't know for certain. I was going to ask Pat about that. But the book, Appalachian Granny Witch Magick, contains the magic and personal musings of an Appalachian Mountain Witch. The book is filled with the author's spells, memories, reflections, and insights, mountain superstition, magic, granny women, the power of gardens, and fairies are just some of the topics covered in this book. Gosh, it really sounds interesting, doesn't it? Her gifts of second sight and ability to manifest through magic were passed down to her through her ancestors and mystics of the mountain, Appalachian Granny Women. Sit for a spell with Pat Bussard O'Keefe as she weaves the magic of her ancestors into stories and spells that are as special as the mountains they're from. I think that is really, there's something mysterious and wonderful about that. Wouldn't you agree? That just seems like such a great idea and great kind of legend, I find it funny. She uses the term sit for a spell. And I find it very interesting because obviously, to me, when I hear that, the first thing that comes to mind is the Beverly Hillbillies, Granny saying, sit for a spell. And it comes down to, is that what that came from? Is that where that derived from? And there's something I find very, one of those things that we hear our whole lives and we don't know where it comes from. And that's one, that might be one of them. And I was going to ask her about that, but we kind of got her in a couple weeks ago. As it happened, I don't know what prompted her to reach out to me, because the day before she reached out to me to see if there was any room to come on the show, I had basically been looking for somebody to speak on that very subject about Appalachian curses, magic, all of that stuff. Because it interests me, and that actually came back from TikTok, of all things, TikTok, where I was watching, a couple of videos that were coming through, and one of them was, if you're in the Appalachian Mountains at night, you shut all the blinds and the curtains, and you pull down the shades every night. You have to do it. That is what you do, and that's one of the things that I find really very interesting, and I wanted to talk about that. You hear about the mountain men, you hear about all sorts of things, and it kind of sounds a little scary, but when you listen and read through that description of the book that I just gave, it sounds like, that she says she weaves the magic of her ancestors into stories and spells that are as special as the mountain they're from. There's some wonderful pride about where she came from. And I've only driven through, or, I haven't really driven through, I've driven over in that area a few years back, when I spent probably about almost a month over on the East Coast. When I went out to Connecticut. No, I didn't. I went out to Gettysburg. I went out to Connecticut a different time. I drove out to Gettysburg. I've talked about being out in Gettysburg before for a paranormal investigation and event that I was asked to help take part in for Dinner with a Ghost. And there, it's such a weird time of my life where I worked. It didn't really seem like they really wanted me there, to be perfectly honest. And I would just be like, hey, do you need me? Can I just extend my time on my vacation? And they really didn't want me around. So they're like, sure. And so I spent a great deal of time, going to Gettysburg, going to Virginia, going to what is basically what should I say? The Octagon Museum is what it's called, which is no longer there, I don't believe. And it was home to just this absolutely wonderful collection of Civil War material that John B. Cushman had put together, and it was absolutely incredible. Joshua, you put it in the comments, says technical error. What says technical error? If you could be a little bit more descriptive. I don't know if there's something with the show or whatever else. You know, sometimes you fly by the seat of your pants when you do this show, because kind of doing it on my own, but sometimes I get it right even. Who knows? But yes, over at the Octagon Mansion, just this amazing collection of Civil War memorabilia, stuff that, you know, super incredible collections. And it all, I mean, it filled up a mansion. I am not kidding. It filled up a mansion, and it was all John B. Cushman's collection. And so from Gettysburg, going out to where they were in Virginia, past, you know, had seen the Appalachian Mountains, and it was it was beautiful. But, you know, even then, I'm just kind of like, I wonder what's roaming around in there. And, you know, I'm not seeing it in the way that Pat is, because Pat grew up there. I'm thinking about, you know, all the stuff that we heard, you know, growing up about that area. And I think that would be something that I would definitely ask Pat about, is like, you know, this is home to you. What do you think about people like myself who have heard, you know, so many different things? You know, how do you combat that? And so, you know, I just think that this is going to be a really incredible conversation. So I hope we're able to get her, you know, get that figured out. I hope everything's okay with her. And then once we do, we'll schedule time to have her back on. And, you know, life happens. You know, there might have been something else that came up, or maybe she wasn't feeling well. Or once again, maybe I didn't send all the information that she maybe needed or something. I don't know. I thought I did, but, you know, you never know. Things happen. So that's exciting, that we'll get it figured out. We'll get her back on. So where do I want to go? Because there's a couple things here to talk about. And if there's something on your mind, please put it in the comments, because tonight we can talk about whatever, as we are kind of just talking paranormal, as we're supposed to have Pat Boussard O'Keefe on, but we don't tonight, and that's okay. We'll get her on when we're meant to get her on. It's just weird, though, that she knew to get in touch with me, even though I didn't say to anybody that I was looking for someone to talk about Appalachian Magick. And I was I was doing some research, and then the next day she reaches out to me, "Would you like to talk about this?" And I think, wow, okay, talk about that second sight. So it's pretty cool. Okay, it's pretty cool. So this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to be over at the Minneapolis Convention Center with 35,000 of my closest friends, as we are, Twin Cities Con is in the area. They come through. We were there last year, just blown away by the amount of people there and the amount of interest people had in what we had. People who are just willing to just eat up all of this wonderful media, talk with us. And so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be over at Twin Cities Con. I have a presentation Saturday afternoon. I think it's at either 2 or 2:30. We'll be talking, you guessed correctly, paranormal. You know, that's kind of how we do things. And I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, I did one of their other conventions this year. I went to Des Moines Con, and I was able to present there, and it was really good. There was a little mix up of like, was I going to basically, you know, present, not present? I came to them at the last minute with it, so there was some confusion. But even with that confusion, and I didn't get into the program book or anything, there was still like 50 some people in the room. So I'm hoping that Saturday is going to be really interesting. And you know, there's something about, you know, just like in sports, the home field advantage, being on the home turf, talking about paranormal, hopefully getting some people interested in the radio show we do here and some of the other stuff we do as well. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see, because last year we just had a lot of people who came out to meet people from Star Wars and other great media franchises. And there we are, a little table all about the paranormal, and people were just very happy to see us and talk with us about the paranormal. So I think it's going to be a pretty busy weekend. And, I don't know how I'm going to handle it all, because we did the Halloween episode last Friday, which was so much fun. And we got to talk about that a little bit later. But I was so tired. I was supposed to go out to the Paul Metza event on Sunday, and I just sent a note to him. I was like, I need a break. I really do. And so I'm kind of backing off on a couple things. We got Twin Cities Con coming up this weekend. And then, of course, I was supposed to do the cruise with Deb and Dave, Refined Divine, and I'm just backing out of that. It's going to be so much fun for them. I'm still jealous, but, we're talking about one for next year, maybe, if they're able to do something. I don't know if they will or not, but, that's what it's all about. But, you got this time of year, and I know that there's a number of paranormal investigators listening. You're all going through what I went through. I'm not doing anything different than you are. Starting in August, September, and then culminating in October, it's busy. It's really busy. It's fun. It's exciting. And I'm not saying that it ends in October, like October 31st happens and we crawl back into our caskets. But what it is like it generally will kind of fall off a little bit. And so, it gives us a little bit of a break, though I do know in Wabasha, Minnesota, and we're going to talk more about this as we get closer, in the first or second weekend of January, they're doing another not a paracon, but they call it a para fair. And I've gone for the last like 4 or 5 years. I missed one, and that was pretty fun. It's pretty cool. And we'll talk more about that, because we'd love to get some of you down there to check it out. The Anderson House is a fantastic place to do investigating. I don't think they necessarily open for paranormal investigators, but I don't know. You got to talk to Becky. But even just to get away, just to go to Wabasha, for a weekend, where they have the Eagle Sanctuary. It's right across the street is the restaurant where Grumpy Old Men and Grumpy Old Men 2 was shot. It's just off the Mississippi, just beautiful hotel. And you got to go out there and just, even, like I said, even if you're not doing anything paranormal, you don't always have to do something paranormal, even just to get away and enjoy the beauty and the sights. And I've driven down to Wabasha in the spring, summer, fall, and winter. And no matter what the weather is, what time of year it is, it's a beautiful drive. You can go down the Minnesota side, or you can go down the Wisconsin side. And once you get to a certain part on the Wisconsin side, you just there's a beautiful bridge that goes over the Mississippi, takes you right into Wabasha, and takes you about, I don't know, maybe 3-4 blocks away from the hotel. You got to go out there. If you do go out there, you talk to Becky or you talk to Savannah, whomever down there, just please let them know that you heard about it on GhostBox, because we just want to show them that we support them. And, I don't want to get back onto the Jason Hawes thing about the Conjuring House, but, if you're going to put money into a paranormal location, let me just, once again, just kindly suggest you think about the local places, the Haunt Local, where, you go down, you put some money into the Anderson House by staying there and getting the history and everything else. It's just really, really wonderful. So, consider that. We'll talk more about Parafair when we get closer. Once again, be at Twin Cities Con this this weekend, come on out to my table. I see Bruce in the comments. He's part of Console Room. I saw him at their table last year. Hoping to see you this weekend, Bruce. Always nice to see you. Let's do this. Let's get a break in because we need to get things going here. I want to talk about ghost stories tonight. It was pretty incredible. I want to talk about a couple other things as well. Anything on your mind, go ahead, put it to us because, it's just us tonight and there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty to talk about. Anything on your mind, put it in the comments. Otherwise, I have plenty to talk about as I normally do. Good to have you all with me. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Twin Cities Con returns to the Minneapolis Convention Center for their 5th year, November 7th through the 9th. Twin Cities Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. There's nothing like Twin Cities Con. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than before. Come see from the Star Wars universe Ahmad Best, Rosario Dawson and Giancarlo Esposito, Brendan Fraser, and the cast of The Mummy, WWE Wrestling Hall of Famers Sting and Mick Foley, and the voice actors from the hit Disney series Phineas and Ferb, plus more guests to be announced. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $50. Kids tickets are just $10 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including a 3-day weekend pass, plus some really cool VIP perks. More guests will be announced. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com.
So I was just on Facebook during the break, and as one does, and I was going through Psychic Medium Refined Divine's page, and I noticed on her Facebook page she has all the dates, at least through May 16th, for the upcoming Refined Divine Holistic Expos winter and spring schedule, starting January 3rd. It's going through May 16th, which May 16th ends in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I'd love to be able to get out there. It sounds like that their event in St. Cloud was just amazing. And you got to come over to Facebook, over to Refined Divine. Psychic Medium is the name of the page. Refined Divine, Psychic Medium. That's where you're going to find out where she's at. I was going to see if I could find out if she was anywhere this weekend. I'm sure she is. But take a look and see on their page. Also, I would recommend going over to going over to refinedivine.com and go over and check out refinedivinepsychic.com and see everything they have going on from the readings, getting a reading schedule, to the classes. If you know, I know we're getting close to the cruise, but if you're just like, you know what, I do want to do this, go over to refinedivinepsychic.com and just see what they can do. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to make it this year after all, but you know what? If you go, you're going to have a great time. And if you go, I'd love you to send me a note and let me know how it went, because it sounds like it's going to be absolutely incredible. Now, tonight we had Ghost Stories and Beyond over at Billy's in Anoka. Beth says, so bummed I couldn't make Billy's tonight. Anxious to hear about it. It was a lot of fun. We actually were nearly at, I think we basically were at capacity in the room. It was a very well-attended night, and that's always nice. And nice for a couple reasons, because it shows that people support what we're doing, and that's always a good thing. But also because this story is very personal to us. We did tonight what we call 18 minutes, and it's 18 minutes, and it's all from start to finish. 18 minutes of paranormal activity that we as a team did at the Grant House. Tonight is the 3rd anniversary of when that happened, November 5th, 2022. And it was absolutely, it's such a great experience. And I just have to call it, because it was our students who take the class with us. We all did this together as a team. So apart from Shar and myself, there was Tree, who did the channeling, Andrea, we had Lisa on the 2nd floor with me, and then we had Austin and Jared down on the basement level, and we were a cohesive team. And there's a story that happens from start to finish within these 18 minutes. And anyone who's done paranormal investigating knows that's not how it works. There is not very rarely a beginning, a middle, and an end. But not only did we have that, we had spirit box responses, we had EVPs, we had disembodied voices, we had knocks on the wall, we had shadow figures, we had full-bodied apparitions. We had a lot of stuff going on in this 18 minutes, and it came to a very beautiful ending. And what we started tonight, when we addressed the group who came to take part, we said, people watch shows, and if you watch paranormal shows often, as we all know, they get a little, sensational or scary. But what we did tonight, what we're showing off tonight, is how paranormal, metaphysical, because they're the same thing, is beautiful, and that we help people. I'm not going to go into what happened. And the reason why Shar and I, we were asked this tonight, actually, are you going to, someone had asked, are you going to do this on the radio show one night, play the recording and then play all the evidence and stuff? And the answer to that is no, because we want to make sure that the people who come out to see it really do want to see it, that this isn't something that you can listen to in the background, like, okay, I'm going to turn on GhostBox and I'm going to iron or whatever. It's more, you're more than welcome to do so. But for something like this isn't the way to experience this particular set of events. And so we are very careful with it. We only do it as a teach out, and we've done this way probably about 6 times, if not more, might even be 7 or 8. And you don't have a whole lot of dry eyes in the room when we're done with it. In fact, I was talking tonight, one of the people who came, we did this at a paranormal fair in St. Cloud a couple of years ago. And one of the people who came into our room for the presentation was a guy from another paranormal team who I know very well. It's a big paranormal team, and the person who came in I actually went to grade school with. And he's a tough nut to crack. He's a skeptic, and I said that tonight in in the presentation, and someone was like, oh yeah, one of them. It's like, no. Skeptics are good. They're always good. As long as they have an open mind to things, skeptics are very much welcome. And it's important to have skeptics because they can also keep us on track for making sure that we don't get out of control. The ones like myself, and I do consider myself someone who tends to believe a lot easier than other people. I want to make sure that, I'm on the up and up, so to speak. You know what I mean? So, once he came into the room, I remember saying to Sharon, like, oh gosh, here we go. He's gonna, afterwards, or maybe in questions, tear it apart or whatever else. I just thought the worst. We did it. We played it because we played the 18 minutes first, nonstop, just in its entirety. And then we have different clips that we play that breaks down, because there's a lot of stuff people miss because it's just a lot happening at once. And after the presentation, I went over to their table and Tom wasn't over there. And I just said, oh, I was going to see if Tom was here because I was just curious what he thought of the presentation. And they were just like, you won't believe it. Because they all know Tom is a pretty big skeptic. Like, you won't believe it. He loved it. He thought that was absolutely incredible. He said, and I don't want to put words in my mouth, so I'm not going to say he 100% believed it or whatever. But it was very clear that it made some impact on him. And that's all you ask for, really, at the end of the day. And that was very important. And that's, that's why we want to be very careful with it, because it's to us, I would say to all of us who did the presentation, or sorry, let me back up, to all of us who did the investigation, we hold it very personal. It might be one of the highlights of our paranormal career. And, so we want to make sure that it's always presented in the best light. And so, if you missed it tonight, we're inevitably going to be doing it again at some point, at either another ghost stories or whatever else. But it's funny because we were trying to figure out the year here for ghost stories, I think back in August or something like that. And I asked Shar if she's okay if we did her Velisca story in October. I mean, as much as it gives her PTSD because it was so horrific, it's also really, I hate to say it, this is what people kind of want to hear on Halloween. I mean, that's just what it is. I don't blame them for it. But I said, can we counter it then by having in November doing the 18 minutes? And we were like, oh, that's great. So I'm putting together the document that I put about like what's the event about and stuff. And I realized that happened on November 5th, 2022. I mentioned that earlier. We had no idea that tonight was the anniversary until earlier when we were kind of putting it all together. It's one of those unique sort of coincidence, non-coincidence sort of thing. Like maybe we were meant to actually do that tonight, and that was really pretty special. And even after all this time, those recordings and stuff, and hearing the EVPs, and there are a lot of them, and they're clear and they are incredible, and that they're intelligent to what we saw going on. There's nothing like it. If we do it again, maybe we'll do a better job to promote it, because I mean, we must have done all right since we were at capacity, but we want people to enjoy this. That's really what it comes down to. It was absolutely incredible. And I'm just so grateful every time that we are able to play it, because it just brings back such good memories. And then December, we were originally going to have Andra, who is part of Haunted Discoveries. We're going to have her on the program. We're going to have her on the program. We're going to have her at Ghost Stories. And it just so happens that she is unable to make it now. So we're going to see if we can move her to January or February, whenever it works for her. But in December, I'm going to bring a bunch of recordings of spirit box, that EVPs and stuff that I've collected. When I say collected, that I've, the investigations I've been a part of, spirit box sessions I've ran, whatever. I mean, these aren't going to be from someone else. These are stuff that I can verify that has happened. And we're just going to have an evening listening to recordings and do that. And I don't even know. Let's take a look here real fast what the date is of the first Wednesday in December. That is December 3rd. And that seems like a long time away, but we're in November 5th. It's less than a month. That's just incredible. Less than a month away. Come out to Ghost Stories and Beyond. That being said, one of the things that people were just like, this is so cool. This must be so cool to investigate. And I'm like, Char and I are both like, well, you can do that with us next Thursday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, as we do the monthly paranormal investigation of the basements of Divine Lights in Anoka. And this is one of those great experiences where come on out. We will help you get acclimated with equipment. We'll just do some investigating, 3 hours, 6 to 9. And it's just such a great location for paranormal investigating. When we started doing this in, I can't remember if it was July or August. I think it was July. The sun didn't set until, 11 p.m. Okay, maybe not that late, but you get my drift. I mean, what's great about this is I can grill really late, but when you're trying to do a paranormal investigation, it makes it a little bit tougher. Now the sun sets at 2 p.m. All right, once again, maybe that's not quite right, but you get my drift. And from there, it's going to be dark. We're going to have not real candles. We're not going to burn down Anoka, but we're going to have some candles like I have behind me. If you're on the Facebook feed, we're going to have a few of those all around. We're going to try to get a good ambiance. I got my tripwire, and if you have equipment, you're more than welcome to bring it as well. Otherwise, we'll use what we have, and we're going to do a fun paranormal investigation. It's not a dark place, even though it's sunset. You know what I mean when I say dark. It's a great, fun location. We've had a lot of great experiences there in the short time that we've been investigating down there. And, I always say this, I get people all the time saying to me, I really wish that I can investigate with you guys. And this is how you can do it. Come on out and investigate with us. And you're going to enjoy it. I don't want to be like, oh, I guarantee it, but I kind of guarantee it. You're going to have a good time. We've had a number of people come through and do so. Now you're like, well, then how do I sign up? A couple ways. Go to Charvinity on Facebook. That is the name of Char's company, Charvinity. Where am I getting S from? Boy, it's a long day. CHARVINITY, Charvinity. You can do that on Facebook. Go to the events. The paranormal event is listed there. Inside there's a link, a calendarly link to get tickets. You can also go to her website, charvinity.com, and there you can also get tickets. So a lot of ways to do so. If you're having problems with it, send me a message, whatever you'd like to do. You can always send me any kind of comments at comment@ghostboxradio.com. It's just, it's a lot of fun going out there and to be able to get those moments of spirit talking with you. You're not going to believe it. Now, I can't guarantee you're going to have the same experience we did at the Grant House, yet I can't say for certain it's not going to happen. That's the wonderful thing about paranormal investigations. You don't want to go in there hoping to get that because you just want to see. You want to be open-minded to what's out there. But just knowing that you can have an opportunity to talk to spirit, talk to somebody who had been around Anoka. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are around Anoka. They could be from anywhere. We bring them in, who knows? But you can have those opportunities. It's a lot of fun, and it really changes people's perspectives quite a bit. So definitely figure it out. If you're having trouble finding the link or anything, reach out to me. Would really love to see you out there. This is something we do monthly, but to be able to keep doing it, we need some folks to definitely sign up and take part. So please consider doing so. Once again, if you have anything on your mind, put it into the comments. Otherwise, what we're going to do is going to take another break. When we come back, if there isn't anything on anyone's mind, I want to talk a little bit about the Pillsbury Club last week, because that was incredible. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Twin Cities Con returns to the Minneapolis Convention Center for their 5th year, November 7th through the 9th. Twin Cities Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. There's nothing like Twin Cities Con. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than before. Come see from the Star Wars universe Ahmad Best, Rosario Dawson and Giancarlo Esposito, Brendan Fraser, and the cast of The Mummy, WWE Wrestling Hall of Famers Sting and Mick Foley, and the voice actors from the hit Disney series Phineas and Ferb, plus more guests to be announced. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $50. Kids tickets are just $10 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including a 3-day weekend pass, plus some really cool VIP perks. More guests will be announced. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com.
Let me think about this. So Twin Cities Con, Saturday evening by chance, get done with the day or whatever. It's a little out of the way, but maybe what if I drive over to Mavericks afterwards, go from downtown Minneapolis, go to Roseville, go get some Mavericks, probably eat it there, devour it, quite frankly, and then head back to St. Michael. I don't know. I think that's kind of a good idea. I'm gonna have to think about that. That might be on my agenda here, because I've been hankering for some Mavericks, and my gosh, that especially at these things, I don't tend to eat during the day, so I think that would be, at least anything that's considered real food, I think that would be a great way to end the day. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm gonna have to think about that a lot. I'll tell you also, I didn't mention, because there's so, I'm hearing Adam in the spot talking about all these guests that are going to be there, and there's some incredible ones. And we're going to have Brendan Fraser there this weekend, for goodness sake. He's going to be there Saturday and Sunday. Ahmad Best, who is Jar Jar Binks, we're going to be seeing him. But I've mentioned this before. I'm going to mention it again because I'm just so excited. I don't know if I'll be able to have time to stand in line and see him or anything. He's going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is D. Bradley Baker. And as I mentioned before, he is the voice of, amongst many things, but he is the voice of Klaus from American Dad. which is I love that series. But Klaus is my favorite character from American Dad. So I am all about that, and we'll see. We'll see if I can get out there. I mean, of course I can if I really want to, but we'll see. I mean, it's all. I'm there. I get, once I get in behind the table, excuse me, I'm so excited I can't even breathe properly. Once I get behind the table, I mean, I just want to meet people. I don't want to spend a lot of time standing in line to meet other people, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, D. Bradley Baker, when I saw his name added, I'm like, I am in. So, we tried to get Ben Penrod on this week, who heads up Twin Cities Con, and he's just like, I am busy, man. Come on. I don't blame him. He's like, this is what you get when you try to get someone who's organizing a 35,000 attendee convention, and you're like 2 days beforehand, you're like, hey, do you want to come on my show? And he's just like, come on, man. So hopefully next year we'll just get him on a little bit quicker and sooner to talk about these wonderful things. But you got to come out to Twin Cities Con, twincitiescon.com to see who's going to be there, schedule, all that good stuff. And from there you can just enjoy, enjoy the day. So I'm just kind of glancing around real fast to see if I can find where my panel is. Let's see here. It's never a good idea to do this on the air, because it's going to be one of those things you're like, oh, I don't see it anywhere. And that just always leads to sadness, of course. But just seeing, am I even on here? And I also know that when you look for something, you can never find it. I see at 7 p.m. Ghostbusters fan panel. No, that's not me. I can guarantee that's not me. I'm in panel 3, room 204, A and B, at 2:30 p.m. called Ghost Voices and the Paranormal, Stepping into the Unknown. Huh? That's fun, isn't it? Stepping into the unknown. You never hear me say that, do you? So that's going to be pretty credible. Bruce says vendor hall is amazing. It blows me away. It's just absolutely massive. It's so massive because we're under one of the domes at the convention center. So you're almost like, you feel like you're almost in a kind of a cathedral in a way. Just incredible. Now, last Friday, I hope some of you had a chance to listen to our 4-hour Halloween spectacular live from the Pillsbury Club. And folks, that place is haunted. Okay. There's so much that happened that we didn't pick up because we were doing something else, but Shar and Liz picked up. And some stuff we just couldn't see, like because of the cameras and how things were set up and stuff, and you just don't see. This place was off the hook. I mean, first of all, if you watched the stream of it, you'll see how beautiful that place is. But secondly, it just was off the charts in terms of paranormal activity. Like, we're going to talk to John and Norman about how can we get back in there. They said to us pretty much anytime we want to, we can go in and do an investigation, which is very kind. And we're going to take them up on that. I don't know if it's something, at least if I would think that some of them may not be streamed, only because we just want to focus on investigating. But boy, that was incredible. That was really something. There was a moment, and it was caught on camera, but it's kind of hard to see because there was a moment that looked like that perhaps Shar was panicking, and she wasn't panicking. In fact, she was so excited. She was jumping up and down. And I've been in situations in paranormal investigations where I start getting a lot of great intelligent responses to my spirit box. And I'm just like so excited. I'm jumping up and down, and it feels afterwards, I'm like, why did I do that? It's just kind of, I don't look good doing that sort of thing. She looked fine. She was excited because something went past her, and it was like a light or something, went into a room, and then a REM pod in the room went off. And now if you watched, it was in that big, massive room that had like the atrium top, to it. That was very much like almost looked like a racquetball court in a way, but it wasn't. And we had a REM pod in back there, and it was going off a number of times. They heard a number of things. The tripwire went off a lot, and we didn't really pick that up on our cameras. It was pretty incredible, and you gotta go out and see this place. And we talk about it all the time. It's the new home of the Minneapolis trolley tours, and you gotta check this place out. You gotta see it to believe it. And what was really interesting about it was, on Wednesday was the first night. A week from last week, I was out there we did a pre-show out there, if you remember. And I get in there, and there's people all over the place, which is a good sign for business, right? And it's just like kind of almost a sort of a slightly club atmosphere to this place. And it's just like, wow. But when you get upstairs, in certain areas, when you get up to the third floor, it's like, no, there is nothing there. You don't hear any of that. So it's not contaminating your investigation. And this place was it's beautiful, and it's haunted, and the responses that they were getting all had to do with dates. If you watched it, that. Did you notice that? One date that came through was 1870, and that came through a little bit later in the evening. Where they were getting responses of "I see you," and that's when Norman had the printer issue, where it printed on the top of the page, "I see, I see, I see, I see." He's like, and you might be like, well, that's just a printer messing up, and it very well could be. But Norman was like, it's never done this before. I don't know why it would do that. So these are things that are very interesting. And Bruce wrote, and Chad survived the basement. Oh, Chad is just so much fun, and he such a good sport. And originally we're like, because going to the basement was something that John from the Minneapolis trolley tours, he said on where we're setting up and stuff, he's like, oh, you got to set up in the boiler room in the basement. And every time you set up this stuff, it never goes quite right. So we're running out of time, and I'm just like, I'd like to, but I don't think I can. But we do have a roving camera. We'll walk down there. So when Chad got here, or got to the Pillsbury Club, I said to him, John had suggested going down to the basement later. Can you go down to the boiler room in the basement? And Chad's like, yeah, with Shar. He's just like, I ain't doing it myself. Well, you know what he did? I mean, I think he had Angie, his wife, with him. So, ain't nothing wrong with going to places that you're not quite sure what's going to be down there. Going with someone else, there is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I do have to say, there was a point on Friday night that Chad moves the camera, and it looked like there was a face in the shot when he just kind of pans. And I made a mention of it, and it looks like that actually was Angie. When we were done, we went back and looked, and it looked like it was Angie. And it's just one of those things that they're moving around and they're trying to get some great shots, and she was with them, and so she got him shot. But it was still incredible, just absolutely incredible. I just want to remind folks that the trolley tours do a lot of things, a lot of different tours. That's not just like the Candlelight Ghost tour. It's not just that by itself. Okay, so you want to make sure that you go to MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com, and while you're there, just basically make sure that you see everything they have going on there, because it's worthwhile going there and checking out and doing all the tours. Okay, and I'm just trying to look up real fast. Go to their Instagram, okay, and that's just Minneapolis Trolley Tours, or sorry, Minneapolis Trolley. That's all it is, Minneapolis Trolley. and go there, and you can see all the pictures and stuff and everything that people are doing there, and shots of inside the mansion and stuff. That was fun. What an honor to be allowed in, that they allowed us in on one of the busiest nights of the year, allow us in to do a live show and to do this paranormal investigation, and literally let us have carte blanche of the place. They trusted us, and what an honor. I want to thank John and Norman for that. And if you come out to Minneapolis, Twin Cities Con, we're hoping to have some pamphlets and stuff for the Minneapolis Trolley Tour there as well, so that you're able to, take something with you. But if not, go to Minneapolis Trolley on Instagram, or go to MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com to get a tour. Sign up for a tour. And if you do one, please let them know. Once again, like we've been saying all night, let them know that you heard about it through us, because we really want to show them that, for all the kindness and good stuff that they've sent our way, that we are sending kindness and support back to them as well. It's very important. It's all about sustainability at the end of the day. And, we just want to make sure that our friends are able to survive, basically, and flourish. That's what it's all about. Folks, we didn't have Pat Bassard O'Keefe tonight talking about Appalachian Granny Witch Magick. We'll get that figured out. We'll get her on as soon as we can. But I had fun talking with you all tonight. I hope you had a good time listening to some of the stuff on my mind. We'll be back tomorrow with a replay, and Friday is Casual Friday. So we hope that you join in for that, where we'll be talking about Twin Cities Con. Everyone, have a good night.